Let me just set this one up, because I know this is going to tee people off on this day. The California Air Resources Board is an out-of-control rogue agency that I call them Stalinist. I mean, these people don't really care about the citizens of California. They have an agenda. It's the green agenda. And they're at the very center of building this utopia where everything's going to be green, where we re-wild the outdoors, where the people of California are going to be forced to get out of their cars and use mass transit, not have big houses, move into small stack and pack housing. I mean, this is the dream coming out of CARB, the California Air Resources Board. These are the people who love making sure that on holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, you're not able to use your fireplace because they call a spare the air day. These are the same people who love putting small businesses out of business by demanding they adhere to these crazy environmental regulations which are not based in science. Okay, so now we're going into cap and trade here in November, folks. And cap and trade, first will hit the utility companies and oil refineries, et cetera. And if you exceed the amount of carbon emissions that the state says you're allowed, then you have to pay, and pay big time. It's going to cause the price of energy to go through the roof. People are not happy about this. So they're having a meeting in Sacramento last week. Okay, with all the money that we're going to make as the state of California being cap and trade, because they're going to make a bundle, what should we do with that money? Let's have a public hearing. So at the public hearing, the place is packed with folks who just want an opportunity to voice their opinion, to let Mary Nichols, the director of CARB, know that they're not pleased with cap and trade, period. So she gets agitated because there are all these people opposed to cap and trade. That's not the point of this meeting. We're just here to have an open forum. We're just here to gain your approval. Listen to this. Folks, this is not how it's supposed to be done in a representative democracy. What she's illustrating is how it's done in a communist dictatorship. Listen to this, and you tell me if she represents America. Listen to this.
I'm a little disappointed, I have to say, that the last half hour or so have been filled with people who want to object to the program as opposed to actually accepting our invitation to come in and address us. Well, the public will all have. Why
are you checking your email? Why are you checking your email? There's only two of you left, but you're checking your email while people.
Thank you for your input and your comments, but this meeting is adjourned.
Oh my, that is so typical of Mary Nichols. We have seen this kind of behavior from her over and over again. And people of the state of California wonder why nobody is trusting anybody in state government. It's people like Mary Nichols who are responsible for this sort of attitude.
There were 10 people on the dais initially. Folks started coming forward, stating their positions, their opinions, giving the California Air Resources Board feedback. And one by one, members of of the CARB team started leaving the dais. Literally, just a total insult to the people of California. Here we are, we the people. It's our government, not these bastards. We have a position and an opinion and feelings that we want to bring forward, and they insult us by walking away as we're speaking. They insult us with Mary Nichols on her little BlackBerry, fishing out email when people are pleading with the state to bring some sanity into the equation. That's not how it works in America. That might be how it works in the Soviet Union. That might be how it works in Cuba or Venezuela or China, but that's not how it's supposed to work in California. That's why these people are so PO'd, and I'm right there with them. I just want to replay this for you one more time, then we'll get to the calls on Whistleblower Wednesday. Now, this is the chairwoman of the California Air Resources Board. This is a position that's appointed by the governor. Mary Nichols is her name. She's been around for a long time. She's way left of center. It's almost as if she's taking marching orders directly from the United Nations, the way she's pushing the envelope on this green agenda here in the state of California. So there's this hearing about how they're going to spend the money from cap and trade. How are we going to do this? What are we going to use this money for? Well, I know what they're going to do with at least part of it. They'll use it for poor people to be able to pay their electricity bills. I mean, poor people in this state, my gosh, if you're poor, you can get Section 8 housing, you can get money per child. If your kid has claims to have asthma, you'll get money for that. You can get food stamps. If you're an artist living in certain cities like Santa Cruz, you can actually get free housing because there's all this free housing for artists. You can get cell phones from various government programs right now. You can pretty much get it all taken care of. And now your utility bill is going to be paid via cap and trade. So there are all these people at this meeting saying, hey, listen, this cap and trade was shoved down our throat. We don't like it. We don't want it. Here's what you can do with the money. Shove it. Mary Nichols doesn't want to hear from the people of California who came all the way to Sacramento to this public hearing. Instead, members of the CARB team are leaving the dais as people are coming forward to talk. She's fishing through her emails as people are talking. It was a total insult to the citizen, the resident of the state of California. Listen to this exchange.
I'm a little disappointed, I have to say, that the last half hour or so have been filled with people who want to object to the program as opposed to actually accepting our invitation to come in and address us. Well, the public will all have, ma'am, the
Why are you checking your email? Why are you checking your email while people are talking? There's only two of you left, but you're checking your email while people are
thank you for your input and your comments, but this meeting is adjourned.
Well,
here's Mimi, and go ahead, please.
I was just going to say,
before I tee off again.
I know.
Cool me down, girl. Cool me down.
The public won't be allowed to speak because Mary Nichols doesn't want to hear what we have to say. She considers us too stupid to know what's best for us, for ourselves when it comes to California Air Resource Board policy, which is beyond belief as to how stupid it really is.
Melanie, this really gets to a mindset that many devout leftists hold. And that is, you know, these are people who are, they come from this worldview whereby some people are randomly spit out of their mother's womb with a better brain than others. And those who have the better brains, like Mary Nichols, look at the rest of us as peons who need to be controlled, because left to our own devices, we'll end up ruining the planet.
Exactly.
That's the way they think. Hey, here's Mimi in Castro Valley. Mimi, were you at that particular meeting? Because I know from past calls you attend a lot of these California Air Resources Board meetings.
Brian, no, I wasn't at the meeting. Unfortunately, I have to work for a living, but we had a lot of property rights watchdogs that went up to that meeting, and I think the perspective that I want to leave with everybody is this thing started at 1:30, and they had selected people who were all in the tank for this speak from 1:30 to 4:30. So all of our citizens sat there quietly and listened to all of these advocacy groups talk about how they wanted to cut up the pie of this great windfall that's coming to CARB. And so to add insult to injury, not only did they not listen to the public, but they made them sit through 4 hours of advocates, and then when at the last half hour they let a few people speak, and the ones that spoke didn't agree with Mary Nichols, and so she shut it all down.
Well, isn't it lovely to see democracy at work in California?
It's absolutely disgusting, and I want to bring up another point if I could. Sunnyvale has just come out with their Horizon 2035 plan, so this stuff is going on in your local cities. And in the Sunnyvale plan, they came out with a 25-question survey that anybody can fill out. There's no check on it. You don't have to say you live in Sunnyvale. And they ask questions like, will promoting a variety of transportation modes positively affect Sunnyvale by reducing regional and local roadway congestion? Converting free parking to paid parking, will that promote carpools? So all of these kinds of things are structured, even at the city level, to get you out of the car and to put you in stack and pack and to control you.
And it's just massive social engineering. And again, just as you were referring to with this CARB meeting, they don't really care what the public has to say. They just make it look as if, hey, well, we'll do a little questionnaire. We'll hold a hearing. And then the questionnaires rigged to get the answers they want. The hearings are rigged, so they hear from the advocacy groups that are handpicked, and then they give a half hour at the tail end for others who have dissenting points of view to speak, and by that time, all of the committee members have left the dais, and Mary Nichols is up there fishing through her email because she could really give a rat's rear end about the people of this state. She's got an agenda. She's beholden to that agenda. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about me.
That's correct, and I think the thing that the California people need to realize is AB 32 and SB 375 are the legislation that's driving all of this stuff. So if there's any attorneys out there that can help us try to put an injunction against these things or get them repealed or something, because this is actually going to drive the state into complete and total...
No, what's going to happen, where the state's going to have to, sadly, my state of California, our state of California, is going to have to take a total faceplant, and it's going to be ugly and dirty before people in Sacramento wake up and the people of the liberal people that control the vote in this state actually sober up to realize that all of their plans were disasters. That's what it's going to come to.
I think it's entirely too optimistic, Brian, because I think even if we take a face plant, the liberals in California will still find somebody else to blame it on. They won't understand or acknowledge that they contributed to this unbelievable disaster that's unfolding before us.
They'll say, it's Brian Sussman and Melanie Morgan on that right-wing station. They're the ones that caused all of this. That's why they were cheering for our demise. They were cheering for a faceplant. Well, we got it. Here's Jesse in Vacaville. Jesse, thanks for joining us. Go right ahead. What do you think about Mary Nichols from CARB?
Disrespectful with a capital D, and I think we, the people, have the power to ask for her resignation. I believe that she's a stagnant mind, and stagnant minds go nowhere, and I think we need fresh minds in that position.
Well, let me tell you something, Jesse. We're going to have there's a big rally planned in Sacramento on August 15th, and we are going to have a presence at this particular rally. And there are going to be people there without question who will be demanding her resignation. So this is our way of protesting what's being done to us as citizens of the great state of California regarding all these cockamamie environmental policies that are not here to enhance life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They're a stranglehold. I mean, it's bringing about tyranny, and it's killing the state of California. That's what we're going to change. Yeah, people are fired up about this CARB situation, and rightly so. And this is an organization we've been battling here on KSFO for years, California Air Resources Board. Here's Jason now on a Whistleblower Wednesday. By the way, we're at 808-5600. Oh, the magic sound of the call dropped. Jason was going to talk about these CARB meetings. I mean, all of these meetings that they hold, these public hearings, are such an absolute joke.
They're all the same.
They act as if they want our input, and they don't. You're right. They're all the same.
You're right, because they pretend like they're presenting a fair and balanced agenda for everybody to celebrate and embrace, because we're going through the process and everybody gets their say, but it's always the same at the end. The only people who get to speak their voice is the voice of Mary Nichols and the agenda of the California Air Resources Board.